In this video, we're going to be using the hc&C unscented soap along with the hc&C banana fragrance oil and the Vector titanium razor. Stay tuned. Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. As always, before we get into the content, a word from our sponsor, Leaf. This video is brought to you by our good friends at Leaf, and you know I love Leaf products. I love using the Leaf, which you've seen me use many times on the channel. I also love using the Twig. You've seen that a lot on the channel as well. If you'd like to save 5%, use discount code IAMCDB right there and save 5% while shopping with the good folks at Leaf. And now, back to the video. And all right, we are back and we have a good one for you today. We're going to be using hc&C, and that is Hendrix Classics and Company Unscented. And we're certainly going to be using the fragrance oil with it, but this is $21 for 5 ounces. And on our cost chart there, that is $4.20 an ounce, which is a fair price, but it's probably even better than that in price because Pete fills his soaps up a lot. Usually they're probably closer to 6 ounces than 5, so the value is really good on this soap. I'll put the ingredients for you right there. This is not a tallow base, nor is it vegan, because it's got some elements like goat's milk and lanolin, so it doesn't make it vegan. It is very good. It is very easy to use, and I really like that a lot. I also like the consistency of this soap, and you can see I've used this one quite a bit. So if I touch the soap like this, it doesn't really transfer to my finger, as you can see there. So you can touch it. Unlike the McDuff's the other day, you know, when I touched it, it transfers onto the finger. This one it's not hard, but it's a little more firm, and that's just what I like preference-wise. It doesn't make a softer soap worse by any stretch of the imagination. I just prefer a soap that's got some firmness to it. It's easier for me to work with, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But this is a nice base. It's a quality soap, and I really like using it a lot. The fragrance oil is banana today. We're using banana. I know it's December, but I was feeling banana today, and it smells beautiful. So the way you use this is just load your soap in a bowl or whatever and just drop a few drops in it, mix it up, and man, it's smelling great. I used about 4 drops of this today, and these little vials are 2 milliliters and they run $3.50, or you can get 5 milliliters for $6. So really nice, and you can get a lot of uses out of these bottles. I'm not sure how many, but 4 drops didn't even scratch the surface. So I'm sure that it's going to be excellent today. I'm loving that banana scent. It was easy to lather. I'll show you a lather shot right there. Super easy. The soap stayed in place in the bowl, and that's just what I like. It's just more enjoyable for me, and that's really what it's all about. Just use the products that you enjoy and have a great experience every single day. This is why we're using the Vector razor today. This one happens to be titanium, but I'm going to tell you, whether you have stainless steel or titanium in the Vector, it is a fantastic Artist Club razor and a fantastic razor. Generally, I love this razor. The complaint that people have about the Vector is it's not in stock a lot at Blackland, and that's unfortunate because it's great. I do think this is a razor worth waiting for. In my opinion, it's the best single edge razor ever made based on my uses of razors. I just love the way it shaves. I love how nimble that head is. You can see it's very low profile. It just feels great in the hand, and many people agree that this is just a phenomenal razor. I think it's worth waiting for. That's just me. Okay, let's get into the shave because we have babbled long enough. We do have a bump there, so if we open that up, we certainly won't count that today. Let's get into the shave. And this is just a mister, and I'm just applying water to the face instead of splashing it all over the sink and everywhere. And the brush for today is the PAA Solar Flare, and we have a good lather here with the Hendrix Classics and Company, and this is the hc&C bowl as well. I want to mention tonight, I'll put a slide up right there, Pete from hc&C will be on Real Talks. If you have any questions, get them in here now, post them below in the comments. If there's anything you would like me to ask Pete, and man, this banana smell, banana scent, I'm liking it a lot. Maybe I'll show you guys after, but there's still plenty of lather left, or excuse me, soap in the middle of this bowl, and that's sort of what I was getting at the other day, is that I find soaps that I'm not looking for a hard soap. I'm looking for soap that has some firmness to it. So when I press it into the bowl, it'll stay there and sort of stay where I put it. Now I know you can smush it all around the entire bowl, but that's not the way I like to make lather. And so, you know, keep in mind, I'm doing a lot of prep for these shaves. I'm putting a fair amount of work into them with research and stuff every single day. So when I come in here, I just want to have an enjoyable experience. And with really soft, borderline goopy soaps, they tend to move around on you unless you spread them throughout the entire bowl. And you can do that, and I can lather them. I know somebody made a comment on the Canadian Muff show that I couldn't lather soft soaps. That's not true. I absolutely can, and I did. If you go back and watch the McDuff videos, I didn't say I couldn't, but I can walk to the supermarket that's 3 or 4 miles down the road, but I'd rather drive. You know what I mean? It is a preference. It is a preference thing. And look at that lather. That's good stuff right there. And so with, see if I can show you here. You see that soap there that's still in the bottom of the bowl? I used more McDuff's, and I've got lather here, and there'll still be some left over at the end. What I find personally is that the softer the soap, the more it incorporates into the lather, which is great for some people because it can lather quickly and easily. But for me, it sort of cuts back on the value just a little bit, because I promise you today I'll have soap left over from hc&C, and I didn't use as much soap because it's a little more firm. So I get better value. You may not in your use case, but keep in mind, when I'm speaking, it's always from my perspective and my use case and the way that I lather, which is just enjoyable. You know what I mean? I like to enjoy my shaves. That's my primary goal always. And I want to do things the way I do it. And I would say I lather soaps probably 550 to 600 times a year because I shave every single day. That's 365. I do head shaves every other day and sometimes every day. So add that in there. By the time you do the math, I'm 550 or 600 lathers at least a year. And I found that probably over the last year, there's maybe 5 or 6 soaps that were a little softer than I like. So it's not it's very unusual for that to happen. So it's not a big deal whatsoever. I can lather them, but I prefer to lather them like I did hc&C. So it's all a preference thing, and it's all about enjoyment. And for me, that's what it's about. So if I have to jump through hoops or do something different, I can do it, but it doesn't mean I enjoy doing it. So I hope that makes sense to you. I'm not by any means saying softer soaps are not good soaps, or that your experience will be subpar. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that the way I do it, they're not quite as enjoyable for me. But I'm also saying I don't necessarily need the firmness of triple milled, you know, just reasonably firm to where it sort of stays together and it doesn't transfer onto your finger, perhaps when you touch it, like, you know, the consistency of yogurt that's really, really soft. It's a little more soft than I would like personally. And so I hope that explanation clears it up a little bit. It's about enjoyment and preference. It's not saying that soft soaps are bad. They are not. There's lots of fantastic soaps that are on the softer side that might not be in my wheelhouse preference-wise. That's entirely okay. I just don't want anybody to get the wrong idea, because a lot of people commented on that video and they really found that softer soaps were ideal for them to lather the way they lathered. So keep that in mind. So let's get on to Hendrix Classics and Company. Really nice lather here today, which you see every day here. Just watch. If you're watching the videos, you'll see that most of the lathers are fantastic, regardless of what I use. Today is no exception. Plenty of slickness here, and the banana scent is just wonderful. I'm loving that. And the Vector here, it feels like a squeegee on the face, just like you're cleaning a window, you know, with that smoothness. And that's why I love this razor so much. And I do know that people are annoyed, you know, that it's out of stock a lot. But I do think it's a razor, like I said before, that's worth waiting for. In my opinion, in my use case, for my use case, it's the best single edge razor, hands down, and there's nothing else really even close to it. It just feels great. It's a pleasure to use. It's fun to use. It's nimble. It doesn't feel cumbersome at all, and I just really enjoy it. All right, let's get into pass number 2 and 3. Lee the other day noticed I did something a little different. I've been doing it for a while, but what I'll typically do is I'll go ahead and relather. Look at that creamy goodness there with hc&C. But anyway, I will relather for pass 2, and I'll explain it as I go, and I'll tell you why I do it. So Lee noticed that I sort of relathered during the second pass and went over one side again And I'll explain that when the time comes. But look at that creamy goodness of the hc&C. No problems here. Really good soap. And again, I hope you guys will come and check us out tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on Real Talk. And again, if you have questions for Pete, put them in the comments below and I'll try to add them to my list of questions. Or you can ask your questions on Instagram Live tonight. Wow, that's good stuff. Anyway, let's not lather all day. So we'll make for a long video. Cut that back a little bit there. So pass 1 was with the grain on my cheeks. And what I'm going to do here on pass 2 is kind of go against the grain first, which is not the traditional way of doing it. But I'm going to go against the grain on my cheeks, up. And then as soon as I finish this side, I'm just going to re-lather it and do a quick cross. And the reason I'm doing that is it just saves a little time. Rather than re-lathering my whole face and doing a complete separate third pass. That's all I'm doing there. And I've been doing that for quite a while just to sort of reduce the time of the videos, you know, because I realize I'm producing a tremendous amount of content. And so it's hard for people to follow them all and watch them all. And so you see I went against the grain there. And what I'm going to do now is re-lather very quickly that side. And what I do is just a quick, you know, boom, boom, quick re-lather. And I'll just go across real quick and then I'll move to the other side. So I've been doing that for a while and I think Lee just picked up on it yesterday. So Lee, thanks for picking up on that. I've been doing this for a while and it works just fine. Typically the traditional and conventional way of doing it is you go with the grain, you go across the grain and then against the grain on the last pass. I sort of change it up a little bit and you might find that you need to change it up as well. Or you might find that 2 passes is enough. You might find that 1 pass is enough, depending on your growth and the razor you're using and how you shave. So keep that in mind. And there we go. That is fantastic. The Vector never disappoints. The blade in here is, I believe it's a Feather Professional on like its 8th use. And it's still feeling quite good. No problems whatsoever. And I tell you what, as you can see the sheen on that hc&C, that is good stuff. That is really a fine soap. And I really like the scent your own concept. And we'll talk about that a lot more tonight. I was not convinced early on. And then I tried it and I was like, hey, this is pretty easy, you know. I felt like I don't really like to do things that feel like you're being made to jump through hoops. You know, like I talked about lathering really soft and goopy soaps. And I felt my thought before using the scenting oils is that it was just additional, you know, stuff to worry about that would take time. And the truth is you just open the top and it takes like 2 seconds. So it really doesn't add much work if you even want to consider it work. It's not. But I found that once I actually did it, I was like, hey, this is fun, you know. And what makes it fun is you can control the level of scent. And that's where I think it's really nice. So what we'll do here is, once again, we'll come across and do a quick cross pass here on the cheeks. And we'll get the neck again. Actually on my neck, because it grows this way, all 3 passes I do are across the grain. Because it's across the grain going down and 2 across the grains going up. And I don't go against the grain on my neck, which is this way, because it leads to creepers and weepers and bad stuff. And so you might find that your face just doesn't like certain things. And when you do, don't do those things. You know, listen to your face. That's what I like to say. All right, that was fantastic. The Vector, man, I just love this razor. It is top notch. The best Artist Club style razor, or single edge razor generally, that I've ever used. And I've used a lot. You see a lot of them on the channel. This one is just phenomenal. It just, I don't know, it feels, excuse me, it almost feels like I said, the best way I can describe it is like a, you know, you're cleaning glass with a squeegee and it's just super smooth. That's what this feels like. Super nice, super smooth, just a really, really enjoyable experience. And that's why I think this razor, even though it's annoying that it's not in stock, it's worth waiting for. It is fantastic. Oh man, that was nice. That was really, really nice. Fantastic. All right, let me rinse and then we'll come back and get into the post. Stay tuned. And all right, we are back and off camera. We did a warm water rinse, remove the soap, and then we applied our PAA alum. After applying the alum, there was no stinging, so super smooth shave, no nicks, cuts, creepers, weepers, irritation, bubbles, or troubles. Excellent shave following the alum. We did a cool water rinse, and then we toweled off with our Lancaster towel prior to applying the Magic made by Witches. This is Thayer's Witch Hazel Cucumber and Aloe. I like that a lot. I had an excellent shave today with hc&C unscented, and we also used the banana scenting oil. I used about 4 drops. It was fantastic. Oh, and let me rinse a little. Stand by. I'm going to rinse the soap out of this bowl real quick. There we go. Let's rinse it out. Rinsing, just a moment. And this is what I was talking about earlier, and I figured this would be the case. You see how I still have some soap left over here? I used a little less of the hc&C than I did the McDuff's, and the McDuff's was completely gone when I finished the shave. So for me, just the way I lather, I find soaps that are a little more firm, not hard, like triple milled or super hard, but a little firm, just a better value overall, and just for me more enjoyable to use. It doesn't mean better, just means I think they're a little bit better value. At least for me, the way I do things may not be for you. Keep that in mind. We used the Vector titanium razor today, and again, whether it's stainless steel or titanium, fantastic razor, absolutely loved it. We used the PAA Solar Flare. It's a riding in our Lancaster Razorworks brush soaking mug. And we're going to finish it off today with PAA Rabid Banana. And this is a seasonal, so you can't get it right now, but since I used the banana fragrance oil from hc&C, I figured we'd follow it up with a little Rabid banana. Woo! We are smelling like a banana. And I know to some people they don't really like gourmand scents, but man, I'm telling you what, I love this. I think it smells terrific. It just brightens my day. Thank you so much. You have brightened my day by being here, and I hope to brighten yours as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB, reminding you, it's your shave, do it your way, and as always, God bless.